Okay, it's how to link this thing in now. We could probably continue this road here. For one. And maybe...
Aye, 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 aye.
What's that road there? And Mr. Raya, can you please give Mrs. Squirrel a big hug from me? And sincerely hope she's doing better. Happy to you're back streaming. My thoughts are with her too. Raya, I will give her an extra special hug when she gets back, mostly because I've not seen her since Sunday. But yes, I shall definitely pass on your best wishes. Thank you. Oh no. Hmm. Orford. Yeah, her dad died on Sunday afternoon. So I did post this in Discord, Orford, but basically her dad was diagnosed with cancer just before Christmas, and it was, I think it was cancer was in his spine and in his kind of bowels, I think. So he was kind of going in for treatment and diagnosis and all that kind of thing, but you know, when it's like in your spine, it's a bit, yeah. So anyway, we didn't really know how long, you know, he had, but sort of about a week ago, I think it was, he was admitted into hospital because he had like mouth ulcers and all this kind of thing, and he was in a bit of pain, so they brought him in, kept him in for a couple of days. Sunday morning, we get a phone call basically saying that he'd taken a turn for the worst, and you know, he wasn't doing well. So Mrs. Squirrel, and this phone call was like at 9 o'clock in the morning, so Mrs. Squirrel packed her bag, sorted a couple of things out, jumped in the car, started driving back towards the hospital, and then at 2 o'clock she got a phone call to say it's too late. Like, he's already passed away in the hospital. So at which point I was on the phone to her as she was like driving along the A14, and my immediate priority was to get her off the road. So I got her off the road onto the motorway services at the M6 and just basically calmed her down and told her that she was in shock, she was in no fit state to drive, and she needed to go and get a coffee and just process what had happened. So that's what she did. And I spoke to her like another 25 minutes later, and she said she was fine to drive. Because I said to her, the worst is now over, right? The worst has happened. You are not in a rush to drive back. There's no rush. You cannot change a thing. The important thing is that you get back up there safely. The annoying thing is, at this point, she's literally halfway. So she's halfway between, like, here and St. Helens. So she might as well carry on, and by the time I get to her, you know what I mean? It's like, ugh. But, you know, she was obviously upset, and one of the reasons that I cancelled the Sunday night trucking stream was because I half expected having to get in the car and just drive up there. I thought, you know, I was constantly like assessing how I thought she was and whether she was fit to drive. And she was saying, yeah, I'm fine to drive and all this kind of thing. But I just thought, if she suddenly, like, takes a turn for the worse, I'm going to have to jump in the car and just drive up there. So, and again, I wanted to keep checking on her. So, like, every hour, I'd basically ring her and just go, where are you? How you doing? Talk through it with her. And make sure she got up there. And she did. But unfortunately, she basically didn't make it to the hospital on time, because her dad passed away at 2 and she only got there at about 4:30, 5, something like that. So that upset her. And I said, well, you know, there's good and bad in this. I mean, obviously, it's kind of hard. There's lots of emotions flying, and it's really hard to sort of talk to somebody like in that kind of state. But with her mum, she basically was at the hospital when she died. And that was really difficult for her because she saw her mum pass away. She saw her take her last breath, quite literally. And of course, like, on the one hand, you're there for them, but on the other hand, that is not a nice thing to see, and it does stick with you. Now, with her dad, obviously she didn't quite make it back, so there's good and bad in it. The bad side is you don't get to say goodbye, although she had seen him a few days earlier. The good is, you know, you don't have to go through that again, and you've got all the kind of flashbacks of her mum passing away. So either way, it was out of her control. But I tried to sort of get her to understand that, you know, it's not her fault she didn't get back, and there's good and bad in being back, and she understood. Like, she was fine. And then, you know, the rest of the week has just been the whole fallout from that, basically. Because obviously there's a lot to deal with, and emotions are running high, and you know, her brother and his sister, they're all up there, and they're all very kind of upset about it all, and the usual thing, death certificates and funeral arrangements and you name it, you know. And then having to deal with your wife every single day when she's not in a good place. It is what it is, I'm afraid. But yeah, that everybody's, you know, my parents are dead, and her parents are now dead as well, so it's not nice, but it's just life, I'm afraid. Anyway, let's talk about something else. I don't think anybody's going to want to live in a house this close to this road, so let's pull that away a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I say, Kirby, the worst is over. It's been a difficult week, but the hardest bit has now been dealt with, as it were. I mean, yes, she's going to be, for the days and weeks to come, she's going to be in that not very nice place that if you've ever experienced it, you'll know what I mean, but the pain never goes away, it just diminishes. I like that bit there. To do with this bit. I think I continue that through to there like that. Let's leave that bit. Let's leave that bit. Let's get rid of that bit as well. Well, Slane, I was talking to a gyno last night, and bizarrely enough, he lost his mother-in-law on the same day that Mrs. Squirrel lost her father-in-law, and the same day that her mother in Indiana, as you say. It's just, you know, it's uncanny. It's weird. Absolutely bad habitat. Absolutely. Well, that's great, Tree. I personally think that he didn't go to hospital or the doctor quick enough, so they didn't catch anything in time. But he'd already had a couple of heart attacks as well. So he wasn't like in a healthy state, and they'd already said, like, if his heart stops, we're not going to restart it because he's just not in a condition, like with all the complications he has, and his heart being as it is, like, we're not going to restart him. Mr. Rye, I think you did the right thing. Get off the road and appreciate you being the kind person you are. You do not have to, under any circumstances, apologise for the night trucking. I have had my share when aunt and grandmother passed. Bottom line is, happy to know, even just as a viewer. Thank you, Rye. Thank you. Ronnie Corbett died on the same day as your best friend. That was a few years ago, wasn't it, Ronnie Corbett? Right, let's get the footpaths in. Yeah, because Ronnie Barker, he died many years ago. A great comedy duo they were, eh? "2005, blimey. Yeesh." They want like a park in here and stuff.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Corsair, 39 months, much love to you all. Thank you, Corsair. Rainy weather in New York. Yup. That's winter for you. Your mate's dog is called Ronnie Barker. Why has he got two names? I just thought we need a uni over here. And we need schools and stuff. So I think we'll have secondary school up here. The Institute of Creative Arts, prestigious school specialising in creative arts, educates teens an alternative to the high school. Modern Technology Institute. Oh my god. What have you done, game? What have you done? There's a lot of ding going on around here. What do you mean? My mum had dementia, so yeah, I know what that's like. You know, before she passed away, I was fully anticipating the fact that at some point she wouldn't really know who I was. But we never really got to that stage. We just got to the stage where she'd forget loads of things and, you know, call me by different name. But then realise who it was, kind of thing. It was just... It's not good. Dementia's a really unforgiving illness. It's not nice. Right, have we got any kind of metro going on here, I wonder? We do indeed. I think like a metro stop right next to the uni seems like a good plan. That's two relatives to dementia. Yeah. What's all the dings? Because I put down a university and a school, it increases the value of the land in the area, so effectively what's happening with those dings is the buildings are leveling up. I think we'll have to put some shops down there. Need a park and stuff. Park with trees, large playground. Next to the school. Don't forget the McDonald's, they go crazy over the thing. I haven't got the mod. Like, the McDonald's mod is a bit of a cheat, really, because it just boosts the value insane amounts. But I don't actually have it installed. Get some shops down there. I have to get a bus running around here as well, I think. Where does it need to go? do. That's good enough. Get people around. It's near enough to the metro. It's quite handy actually. It takes people through both universities. Perfectamundo. No, Ajax, if you put a McDonald's down in the McDonald's mod, it actually significantly boosts things. Right, we don't have much of a demand for housing, bizarrely enough. Is that worker demand or industrial demand, I wonder? No, she's still up in St Helens. She'll be coming back Saturday, I think, is her current plan. There's a station not connected by the underground spiral. I'm not sure which one you mean. The school district should be called University Challenged, or Universally Challenged, right? Did you see the new Queen movie? I have not seen that yet, no. I'll probably watch it on Sky or something. I figured it wasn't something I needed to go watch at the cinema. Now, where can we put more office space, I wonder? That traffic is flowing quite nicely through here now. Yeah, we'll leave that. See if that builds quickly. Donkey, how you doing, bro? Could build some little annexes here for office space. Down by the seafront, riverfront, whatever it is. Bow Rap made Mrs. Blub Like a Little Girl was a good movie, but historically inaccurate is in him. Bow Rap? I've not heard of that. Squirrel's Desk, good night. Ooh, that's going to trash some stuff. Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody. Sorry, I didn't... Yeah, I didn't trigger on the abbreviation though. When you say it's historically inaccurate, I would have thought, like, Brian May and the rest of them would have been saying, like, oi, that's not correct, kind of thing. Signal box, thank you. Yes, it's a watchtower. I need to move it. Just put it there. Be fine. A little footpath through that. Right. Let's see if that reduces the industrial demand. The timeline was changed to pace the movie. To be fair, they admitted they were making a documentary, just an entertaining movie. Ah, fair enough. What was it like, the guy who played Freddy? What was he like? Chippy, the thing about the Stan and Ollie film, I thought Steve Coogan was just totally amazing at how he played Stan. I thought he'd gone, like, exceptionally well. How he captured all his little movements and all his little mannerisms and facial expression. I thought he'd done such a good job on that. Ollie, on the other hand, it was okay. But I enjoyed the movie. It was quite sad to see what happened after they peaked, kind of thing. It was... I didn't know a lot of that history. Danny Davalashev, good night. Right, that did bring the industrial demand down, but let's see if we can actually put some industry down. I suspect we can. Oh, I've got a refuse collection problem again. Why is that? Is it because these guys are just too far away, or is it because there's traffic stopping to get in there, I wonder? Don't think it's traffic. Maybe we just need something a bit closer. Could easily solve that. Not enough customers. Really? Got a bus stop right next to you, I'm surprised. Maybe your goods are rubbish. How's Doyle? He's fine, you know, Doyle. Captain laid back.
Happy anniversary, Nutter.
Maybe we should complete our major infrastructure work. Baz Highway Y. Why, Baz? Why? Why? I wonder if Baz has got a support line for these things. A number that you can call when you need help. Hello, Baz's highway support line. Wait, can this not go level? Oh, you scumbag. Why is this a floating junction exactly? Does it have to be a floating junction? Yeah, like a Cone's hotline, exactly. Go that way with it. We'll just have to elevate. Move that over. We'll use that road later for something. I think this is the one where I need to drop the speed limits on the internal roads, though.
Welcome back. Not
70, 70 and there. Should do it. And then we can get this over there as well. Your head hurts from seeing what, Sanjit? What's the road underneath? It's a, right, it's a... What Baz has done is basically create a three-way highway with effectively a roundabout underneath that drops lanes on and off it. So it's a highway that allows traffic to exit and enter at the junction via a roundabout underneath it. Think of it that way. So later on I could grab this road here and build stuff, and same with that one. But yeah, what you have to do, you have to lower the speed limits on the ramps and the roundabout inside. Otherwise, AI being derpy will, instead of just using the highway, sometimes it'll just go down an off-ramp because it's shorter. And this game's all about shortness of route rather than speed and cost. It's just annoying. So, yeah, once you've done that, it's fine. Oh, that's going to be a nice bridge. It's one over-engineered junction. Zenam, you clearly haven't seen some of the other stuff that Buzz has done. Cool. And later on we'll probably either go under that or junction off it or something, I'm not sure. You've been watching since the Consum days, follow train, welcome. You should weigh in a certain delay tie if there's traffic jam. I think it doesn't because the calculation costs are too high. Like, there are thousands of vehicles on the road and it has to calculate each one. It would massacre your CPU. However, it would just be nice if the routing algorithms didn't just look at the distance, but actually looked at the speed of the roads and other factors when calculating the cost. Infection BG, we don't talk about politics or religion on the channel, so I won't be giving you my views on Brexit. We're here to just have fun. There's more than enough coverage on the news. It's okay. Oh, there's traffic's building up here again. Because I've built more industry, I think. Starting to get pretty busy. We might reach the limit of this construction. Traffic issues are a real pain. Alright. But at least on the road, people behave differently to City Skylines traffic. There's no way on the road people would just sit there and allow lanes to be like empty. They'd be like, I'm going down there. And it'd be great if Skylines traffic did a bit more of that. Just utilizes the bandwidth of the road. Sitting in one lane on a 3-lane track is just really annoying. Now we need commerce, but I don't really have anywhere to put commerce. Also, this district here, I didn't really figure out how I was going to hook it all in. Not enough educated workers. Crikey. You're only a local corner shop? What do you want? I mean, really? See if we get more people to move in. I think this should be a little suburb here. Just trying to work out how to link in, though. I don't want to bust into that junction, but I might have to. I need a cashier with a master's degree. I must admit, it does make me laugh a little bit when I go into these corner shops like the Co-op and stuff. Well, they're not really corner shops, are they? They're like a 7-Eleven type thing. And you go in and if for whatever reason they can't scan things through and add things, like if you ever notice them when they try and add something up, they can't do it. These people who work there just can't do it. I don't know what it is, but like, I think maybe because everybody's got phones these days, they've got calculators on them, people just got really, really lazy about this stuff. Like, I walk around a shop and I pick a few things up and I'm noting the price down. In my head, I'm just keeping a rough total. You know, if something's £1.29, I'm like, that's £1.30, right? something else comes along and it's like £1.60. I'm like, well, that's £2.90. We're nearly £3. So approximately I know how much money I need when I go to the till. There's no way. They can't do that. They need to get a calculator out or they can't do it. And that I find that really scary. Scanning code of practice in Canada. If the price comes up wrong, you get an item free up to $10. Wow, that's pretty cool. Scanning code of practice? I've never heard of that. I think we can get away with suburbs here because as long as we don't put high density stuff in there, which I'm not, I think we can get away with it. So I think we can just bust in there. That's way too wide. It will have to be that. No worries, we'll have AI with built-in calculators in the future. I started to remove calculators in college. Remove calculators? Explain what you mean. As in, because they want you to start doing... I mean, do they even teach long division and stuff at school these days? Do they even teach that stuff? I'm not sure I only want one road going in and out of here. I think we might have to smash down this guy's house. So I'm sure compulsory purchase order is not very happy about, but if you live in El Squirrel's town, I'm afraid. They do teach it. Oh, well, that's good. I suspect most people forget it when they walk out, but hey. I'm glad they've not ditched it just yet. I remember when I was, I don't know, what was I? 12? Something like that. My friend and I, like, he had a darts board at his house, and darts is such a good game for mental maths. Oh my god. I don't think there's a better game for teaching you mental arithmetic than darts, because it is such a fast-paced game and you've got to be able to subtract and, you know, work out, like, what do I need to check out? Like, I've got 98, what do I need? You know? And they're so good at it. What do you mean snooker? Dude, snooker is not even on a par with darts in terms of mental arithmetic. Just play a game. 501, yeah? 3 darts. Just play a game. You'll see what I mean. Because not only that, you throw the 3 darts in, right, and you might get triple 17, 20, and 19. You've got to add that up and subtract it off your score with a piece of chalk. And you've got to do it in the next 5 to 10 seconds so that your opponent can play his turn. And he's got to be able to look at what you just did and make sure that your maths is on point. Honestly, there's no better game for mental arithmetic than darts. And yeah, if you, exactly what Kurosoni says, if you actually watch the darts, like a world championship or something, they are insanely good at mathematics, these darts players. They just know. They know, they look at the scoreboard, they look at the score, they know exactly what they need to do next. I need a triple 19, double top, double 8 checkout. Like, they know what to do. It's amazing. I think they should get people in school to play darts. Well, maybe not actually, because accidents would no doubt happen. But if they could find a way of doing something like that, that would be cool. So I didn't want that to be. I want that to be grass. Actually, no, we'll keep that one as trees. They would make excellent cashiers, actually. Do all darts players have to be sick at it? No. Well, yes and no. That's the thing, because darts... Essentially, darts is a pub game, really. That's where its origins lie. And you almost have to be as good at adding and subtracting as you do as being a player. Because if you don't, your opponent may accidentally, or not accidentally, cheat and add it up wrong. Oh, look. But also, I think it's another sign of a good player in the pub. Like, if a guy is good with his mental maths and he's good with his darts, then he's a good darts player. But if he can throw really well but he can't add up, everybody's like, really? It's weird. So it kind of comes with the territory, I think. If you've got a head in math at elementary school, we're allowed to play darts until the rest of the class caught up. That's really cool. I like that kind of thing. Give people an incentive. There is that fire by trial. But I think the reason that darts succeeds in pubs is because you don't need much space for it. You know, it's just a board, really. And inevitably, people bring their own darts. But as you say, it's ironic that people get drunk and then throw sharp objects around. Played darts at Christmas. I mean, that's the other thing. There's like, you can actually get like a kiddie version of darts in a way, where it has like a sticker on the end. But the problem with that is it's not sharp enough to allow triples and doubles. So you kind of lose out on that aspect. But it's still, you know, the kid version of it is still a pretty good way of teaching, like more simple mental arithmetic to young kids. You know, not involving the doubles and the triples and that kind of stuff. You never worked in kitchens, Newty. I'm not bad, director, thank you. Even not playing the game, breaking down the checkouts is a good way to get kids to learn. 157, what do you need type of thing? Absolutely. You can actually watch darts and still do all the mental arithmetic. You don't even need to be playing it. You play a lot of darts at home until you could throw full-size darts. You got special lighter kids darts and threw on a lower board.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, I remember like... Oh, it must have been... between the age of 5 and 8, something like that, when I first encountered like a full-size dartboard with proper darts. And I'll never forget looking at how far away you had to stand to throw them. Like as a young child going, you what? You might as well have been asking to throw it down the road. It was so far away and so high. You're like, what? Rusty the Dude, thank you for 2 months. Chaos Coda, welcome back. Home Player, welcome back. Diesel Power with a year. Thank you, Diesel Power. What about pool or foosball? What about them? Why not use the heat pipe? Because I'm not on a cold map. There's no point. When's Yachts 5? 2nd of April. Let's get some parks and stuff in here. I really need to start building unique buildings soon. What if we build a... And then... Put a dog park here. Well, there's no way of joining. Okay, game. That looks so bad. Looks slightly better. Can't believe it's been 5 years, sugar. Well, it's not. Yachts 5 is the start of the 5th year, isn't it? Darts boards in the corp staff room to be mandated in the future. Absolutely. What's the longest sub offered? I think it's 66 months. 65, 60, yeah, I think it's 66. I think Avenger and Co are on 66. School up here. Don't need more schools than that. That's what we didn't do. I didn't drop in medical stuff. That's okay. Do you think you can put the first stream on SquirrelPlus? Nah. I don't have anything, Mr. Big Time. If you go to the oldest video on SquirrelPlus, that's the first one I have. Like, I lost 12, 18 months, maybe 2 years worth of stuff from the beginning. I thought I had it on a hard drive somewhere, turned out I didn't. But in the early days... I didn't record the streams, and Twitch used to keep all the streams anyway, automatically recorded, until they changed their policy one day and said we're only keeping 2 months worth. Might have missed this talk of this, but whatever came of the Retro Subs Edition talk for early 2019? The Retro Subs Edition talk, Bondo, Oh, I know what you mean, the Twitch thing. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was planned for January.